Nani,
They
you know Gyökeres, there's big talk about him coming to the Premier League now.
he's a player who can play in Premier League. Trust me. If he was playing the same today as 1 year ago, I would say no, because in Premier League the defenders will eat him because he just want to run with the ball, you know.
So you think he could come Premier League? Which team would you say he will be most suited to?
I would love to see him in Man United because we need players, real. If he can go to Man United and do the same he's doing here, I will be very happy because he scores so many goals. He scores every week. If he don't score, he assists. You know, he creates for the team. He's very powerful. He's a player who can run 90 minutes at the same speed.
Gyökeres is amazing. 7 goals in his last 2 games. Are you tempted to bring him with you if you can?
No. I cannot be funny with that in this moment. It was tough for me to leave. If I'm starting joking about that with the Gyökeres, I have problems. This is my city, this is my country, so I will respect. Viktor has to stay until the end of the season, and then his life is going maybe somewhere else.
Which players do you want Manchester United to sign?
The left winger from Atlanta, he's called Lookman. I've watched him throughout. He's pretty good. And I think Cole Palmer has really showed his class. And the striker is, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's Victor from Sporting, so I can't pronounce his last name. Those are the 3 signings I've thought about it that I'll definitely get for this summer.
Going back to November, obviously you guys played Sporting Lisbon 5-1. What did you make of the performance of Viktor Gyökeres on that?
The direction of the question was good till the last part. You know that I cannot talk about any player. Yeah. But it was a great performance from us. That's I can tell you.
From second-tier loans and near anonymity to breaking records and breaking defenders, Viktor Gyökeres has become Europe's most terrifying striker you still don't talk about enough. Last season, he racked up 43 goals and 15 assists in just 50 matches. This season, he's doing even better. As of May 2025, Gyökeres has already netted over 40 goals and more than 10 assists across all competitions, and yes, even Manchester City felt the wrath of the Swedish machine. Quadruples in the league, hat-tricks in Europe, and a highlight reel of pure destruction. Gyökeres isn't just scoring goals, he's devouring defenses, pressing like a madman, and turning every inch of grass into danger territory. At 26, with the physique of a Viking and the hunger of a predator, he's becoming what every club dreams of, a complete number 9, relentless, ruthless, and real. So, how did a player once forgotten by Brighton become one of the most feared forwards in world football? This is the story of Viktor Gyökeres, the Swedish striker who went from average to elite and now has Europe's giants knocking on his door. It's May 8th, 2021. For the final match day of the championship season, Coventry City hosts Millwall. There's nothing at stake in the standings, but still, while the Sky Blues quickly take control and put 6 past their opponent, their striker isn't exactly having a party. Subbed off just after the hour mark, the frontman ends his first 6 months at the club with almost nothing to show for it. Worse still, he's coming off 4 long, frustrating years spent mostly on the bench across England's lower leagues. At 23 years old, very few saw a promising future in him. That striker's name? Viktor Gyökeres. At the time, barely anyone imagined he'd become a star. But fast forward just 3 years, and everything has changed. Chapter 1. A reluctant start the boy no one expected. Ever since we started telling player stories on this channel, there's a common narrative that often comes up. A kid tears up his neighborhood games, gets scouted young, and breaks into professional football before he even finishes high school. But Viktor Gyökeres? His story didn't follow that script. It was tougher, slower, less glamorous. Sure, he was surrounded by football from the beginning. His dad was a youth coach, and Viktor would tag along every weekend. He was constantly playing. Good, yeah, but not jaw-dropping. At 14, he was scouted for a trial at Brommapojkarna, one of Sweden's top academies. But the club turned him down. They didn't see the spark. Still, Viktor didn't give up. He was obsessed with winning. So much so that his coach said, if he didn't win, he'd cry. Just 1 year later, he got another chance, and this time, he made it. He joined Brommapojkarna at 15. At first, he struggled with the intensity, but once he adapted, he started scoring. In his first 12 matches of 2015, he netted 13 goals. Still, no one hyped him. He was living in the shadow of teammate Dejan Kulusevski, who already had the nation's attention. But in August 2015, everything changed. The first team was in crisis. Already relegated to Sweden's second tier, they were hit with a wave of injuries. The manager turned to the youth teams. "Do you have anyone ready?" "I've got Viktor," his coach replied. "He's strong, he's ready, and he can handle playing with older guys." So Gyökeres got his shot, but the results were rough. In 8 matches, he didn't score once. The team finished bottom of the league and dropped another tier. That should have been bad news, but for Viktor, it was the perfect break. With senior players leaving, he got his chance to start. In 2015-16, he became a key figure, playing all across the front line. He bagged 10 goals in 23 matches, helping his team win the league and earn promotion. Now people were starting to notice he was powerful, fast, deadly in front of goal. Still raw, yes, but with enormous potential. That potential got him called up to Sweden's U19s, and he delivered again, scoring the crucial goal that sent them to the European Championship. Even though Sweden crashed out of that tournament, Gyökeres walked away as the top scorer. Back in Sweden, he kept flying 13 goals, 8 assists, 29 matches. He powered Brommapojkarna back into the top flight. By the end of 2017, Sweden had finally recognized the gem in their midst. And Viktor Gyökeres? He was ready to take his next big step toward a land where football reigns supreme. Chapter 2. Frozen Out in England. The Long Road to Coventry. In January 2018, at just 19 years old, Viktor Gyökeres made the leap from Sweden's second division straight to the Premier League. But he didn't choose just any clubbish move, was a calculated one. He joined Brighton, a team known for nurturing and developing under-the-radar talent. On paper, it was the perfect step up, and early signs were promising. To ease his transition, Viktor started with the U23s and immediately made an impact, scoring 7 goals in his first 9 matches. Around the same time, he also earned a debut call-up to the Swedish national team and scored in his first start. But cracks soon began to show. At Brighton, no one could figure out his best position. He was moved around constantly: left wing, right wing, second striker, lone striker. And unlike teammates like Caicedo, Mac Allister, or Mwepu, Viktor hadn't even played top-flight football in Sweden. To many at the club, he was still a complete unknown, and that reputation stuck. Over the course of 18 months, Gyökeres never got a single minute of Premier League action. Sure, he contributed in the U23s with 10 goal involvements in 19 appearances, but for the first team, just a few minutes in an FA Cup match. The rest of the time, he was frozen out. And that was a massive problem, because at this stage of his career, what Viktor needed most was game time, visibility, and growth. But instead, he was wasting away on the bench. Then came summer 2019. Brighton splashed £30 million on Neil Maupay and Leandro Trossard too, more attacking players who pushed Gyökeres even further down the pecking order. Out of form and out of confidence, he was loaned to St. Pauli in Germany's second division. Once again, he was shuffled around in different positions, but this time, he left a decent impression. 7 goals and 4 assists in 26 games. Solid. When he returned to Brighton, he started in a League Cup match against Portsmouth and was outstanding, scoring and assisting in a strong performance. But again, it wasn't enough. Just weeks later, he was loaned out again, this time to Swansea. The experience, however, quickly turned into a nightmare. Despite his coach's admiration, Gyökeres contracted long COVID, which seriously affected his form and fitness. Brighton cut the loan short and brought him back, only to send him out again, this time to newly promoted Coventry City. Let's be honest, things weren't looking great. Gyökeres was almost 23 years old and had just endured 4 nearly blank seasons, a pivotal age, and a career threatening to stall. If he failed at Coventry, the road ahead would be steep. But if you've been following this story, you already know Viktor Gyökeres doesn't quit. He's obsessed with goals, a relentless worker, and above all, he believes in himself. He knew that with enough grit, the breakthrough would come. And at Coventry, it finally did. Chapter 3. The Breakout at Coventry. His first 6 months at Coventry weren't exactly spectacular. But what made all the difference was this. For the first time in his career, Viktor Gyökeres found a coach who saw him for what he truly was, a natural-born goal scorer. That coach was Mark Robins, a former Manchester United striker, who quickly formed a special bond with the Swedish forward. It feels good to finally be understood. And you can imagine it must have felt incredible after 4 long years in the wilderness. Despite Gyökeres' underwhelming start and the skepticism from Coventry fans, Robins had seen enough. He believed in him so much that he convinced the club to spend just £1 million to sign Viktor permanently from Brighton. Yes, just 3 years ago, Brighton sold Gyökeres for a mere €1 million, and they've been regretting it ever since. Now given confidence and trust, and finally used as a proper number 9, Gyökeres exploded, netting 17 goals in his first full season as a Sky Blue. But that was just the beginning. In the following campaign, he took things to an entirely new level. By February, with Coventry sitting mid-table and 14th, Viktor went on a tear. Over the final 15 matches of the season, he was involved in a goal every 90 minutes, dragging his team to a stunning 5th place finish, their best league position in 22 years and a ticket to the championship playoffs. When you look at his hunger to score and his work ethic, it's no surprise. He matured, and we could finally exploit all his qualities. He finished the season as the 2nd highest scorer in the league, but more impressively, he was also the top assist provider, proving just how much his game had evolved. He wasn't just a finisher anymore. He was now a complete forward, central to everything Coventry did in attack. After a heartbreaking loss in the playoff final to the underdog story of Luton Town, it was clear Gyökeres had outgrown the championship. Following years of setbacks, he finally made a giant step forward, signing for Sporting CP, a club playing European football, in a £20 million move. Chapter 4. At the top of Europe in Lisbon. In Lisbon, his partnership with the Lions proves absolutely perfect. Searching for a true goal scorer, the Green and Whites find in Viktor the missing piece they needed.
It's an amazing feeling. I've been waiting a while, so it's very nice to have it all done now and to finally be here. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Under the guidance of Ruben Amorim, the man with the animal-like celebration takes just 15 minutes to score his first brace. And that's just the prelude to a long and ferocious domination by the goal machine in the Portuguese Championship. In his first season there, he records a terrifying stat line: 29 goals and 9 assists in 33 matches, delivering Sporting their 2nd title in 22 seasons with a staggering 10-point lead over Benfica and 18 over Porto. This season, his stats are even more absurd. Just 4 months into the competition, Viktor already sits at 23 goals, yes, 23 goals in 17 matches. And now in May, he has scored over 40 goals in all competitions. It's hard to fathom, especially considering he notably bagged a hat-trick against Man City, a team to whom he's often compared for his anachronistic blend of power, speed, and ice-cold finishing in front of goal. Once seen as a player unable to make it at the professional level, Viktor Gyokeres, through hard work, patience, determination, and, of course, terrifying talent, has now taken his revenge on a football world that long rejected him. He's become one of the strongest and most prolific strikers in the world. So, how far will the Swede go? Viktor Gyökeres' meteoric rise at Sporting CP has made him one of Europe's most coveted strikers, and Arsenal's reported interest reflects his potential to transform their front line. With a rumored transfer fee of around £60–70 million and his preference for the Gunners over rivals like Manchester United, his blend of proven goal-scoring and physicality could make him the talisman Arsenal need to compete for silverware.